I'd say the most over I ever got was Nexus. There's no doubt about it. It was just a crazy period, especially for a guy like me and the rest of the Nexus guys, who we literally went from being unknowns to being the main bad guys in professional wrestling for about 6 months. And the reaction we were getting everywhere, it was genuine hatred, fear, excitement that the crowd would get. And it's very hard to capture something like that. So I'd say that's the most over I had ever been. But as an individual, definitely bad news about it. It's completely not having the benefit of feuding with John Cena, or the benefit of having this gang of guys with me, or having this amazing, impactful entrance where we ripped the ring apart. For a guy who was just kind of organically getting over by just doing a promo, really, that's definitely the most over I ever got.
Well, Darren Young, Fred Rosser had recently said on his podcast that there was plans to bring Nexus back at WrestleMania this year. Was that something that you were going to be part of?
So I was called about it probably in January. I was obviously working with NWA at that point, but my contract with NWA didn't stop me doing other things. There was no restrictions to it, but they called me about it. They made a pitch to me, which I hadn't actually spoken to anyone in WWE for the best part of 4 years, in management anyway. So this was really the first contact I'd had pretty much since I'd left. And they had this idea. I didn't think it was very good. If I was going to go back and do something with WWE again, I'd expect it to be a bit more impressive than what they were offering me. So I turned it down. It wasn't going to work for me, and I wished them the best of luck. I believe they were still going to do something with Darren and a couple of others. I don't believe Ryback got the call. They didn't want Skip Sheffield back there. He was a bit upset about that. I joke, but
so if you're not going to be there, Ryback's not going to be there, what's the point?
Yeah, I think so. But they were going to do something. I don't know exactly what was going to play out, whether it was like Access or something like that. But what was pitched to me just wasn't exciting at all. So I turned it down very quickly.
So what does it need to take for you to want to step back into the ring?
$1 million, $1 million, $2 million. I don't know. No, I mean, in all honesty, to step back in the ring it seems like a small commitment. It's just one match or whatever, but the work needed to get back to that one match and to get my, not only back, I'm in really good shape. I stay in shape, but there's a difference between being in shape where I pump iron, I do some burpees and things like that, and actually being in wrestling shape. And it would take me weeks, maybe even a couple of months of regularly going to a local wrestling ring, bouncing around it, working with guys and getting myself back into that. And then there's also the mental commitment of getting back into that world to that level. So I wouldn't want to just turn up and take 2 bumps and great Royal Rumble spot. You walk in 30 seconds, you dumped out, wave through everyone and get out again. I wouldn't be interested in doing that. I'd want to, if I did ever get back in the ring, I'd want to do something good. And I'd want to be in a significant position on the roster, and I wouldn't want to be just the filler, which is kind of how I left wrestling. So that, like I say, is a big commitment though. I'd have to make sure my wrestling game was back on point, my fitness was ready, my body was all ready for it, and it's not just a simple case of quick phone call, yeah, I'll see you next week, I'll be there. It's way bigger than that. As simple as it sounds to just get back in the ring, it's a lot more difficult.